pain, fatigue, muscle pain, headache, and joint pain.
I chose Arexvy.
RSV? Make it Arexvy.
Colbert's got an all-new Late Show with Jada Pinkett Smith tonight on CBS.
This is NCIS. Everyone here is a bit unusual and keeps the bad guys on their toes.
Hands on your head!
Rogue state, terrorists, on to the next one.
It has got a certain ring to it. NCIS Sydney.
NCIS Sydney, Tuesday, November 14th on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
As UP lawmakers continue to raise concerns about state Democrats' push for more renewable energy, why some energy experts say the UP is prime real estate for solar farms at 11. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Blakely. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, Israel's ground offensive in Gaza could come at any moment. Tonight, the vow from Israel's government as U.S. officials urge them to avoid civilian casualties. Plus, as state Democrats push for more renewable energy in Michigan, why one MSU professor says the UP may be better suited for solar farms than many might think. And how the VA Medical Center in Iron Mountain is expanding its services for Native American veterans. Your 19 News starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Looking out the door this evening, already seeing those temperatures dipping on down, and that'll continue to happen as we head into the overnight. Still cloudy, a few drops out there will be possible, some lighter ones at that. That north-northwest wind, 5 to 10 miles per hour, should be subsiding over these next few hours. By the time we wake up, not dealing with a whole lot of wind out there. For our daytime tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies as we wake up, partly cloudy to mostly sunny noon and 4 p.m. So some decent sunshine here for the middle of the day. Temperatures cooling off as we head towards 8 p.m.
Thanks, AJ. Developing now, President Biden will visit Israel and Jordan this week to deliver a strong message of support to a key U.S. ally who has declared war against the terrorist group Hamas after a brutal surprise attack. In just over a week, the conflict has become the deadliest of 5 Gaza wars for both sides, with more than 4,000 deaths. We want to warn you that some of the video in this report is graphic and may be disturbing to some viewers. Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House.
Coming here to do the following.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken delivered remarks from Israel, expressing solidarity and announcing President Biden will visit the Jewish state on Wednesday.
President Biden will again make clear, as he's done unequivocally since Hamas's slaughter of more than 1,400 people, including at least 30 Americans, that Israel has the right and indeed the duty to defend its people from Hamas and other terrorists and to prevent future attacks.
The Secretary of State met for hours with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his war cabinet.
President Biden will underscore our crystal clear message to any actor, state or non-state, trying to take advantage of this crisis to attack Israel. Don't.
Secretary Blinken also says the U.S. and Israel have agreed to develop a plan that will enable humanitarian aid from donor nations to reach civilians in Gaza, including the possibility of creating areas to keep civilians out of harm's way.
We are only citizens, we are not fighting, we are not doing anything, we are just living here.
Israel's military released this chilling video, which it says was found on the body of a dead Hamas militant. The video appears to show the gunmen hunt their victims inside their homes and appears to have been edited. Here in the U.S., demonstrations against the war continue. Across from the White House, protesters gathered to call for a ceasefire in Gaza.
As of tonight, the border with Egypt is still closed to thousands of civilians trying to flee the war zone. Also tonight, the U.S. State Department says nearly 1,000 U.S. citizens and their immediate family members have departed Israel on U.S. government-chartered transport. Meanwhile, in Washington, Republicans in the U.S. House have a narrow majority over Democrats. Many seats currently held by Republicans are considered toss-up races in 2024, meaning they could go either way next November. WZMQ's Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon reports on why support from moderate voters is pivotal for the House GOP next year and how tomorrow's speaker election can impact that.
A vote for Jordan is potentially some material for negative attack ads in the future. Jordan has some ethical issues as well as being very conservative.
George Washington University professor Todd Belt says Congressman Jim Jordan faces an uphill battle to secure the 217 votes he needs from his colleagues to become the next Speaker of the House.
Most people thought that he would be able to pull over a lot of Scalise votes, and he just hasn't been able to, which indicates that there's a lot of people out there who just don't want him as Speaker.
One reason for skepticism among Jordan's colleagues is because they're worried about their chances for re-election in 2024. Jordan, a strong and vocal supporter of former President Trump, has been a key player in the investigations into the Biden family. Belt predicts that a Republican House majority will hinge on Jordan's performance as Speaker if elected.
If Jordan is elected Speaker, it really depends upon what he does as Speaker. Now, of course, he's going to have to cut a lot of deals to get that speakership, and he'll have to come through on a lot of them, or else, they may vote to vacate his chair again. But I think what really matters in terms of whether or not Jordan is a liability on the party is, if he is Speaker, how he is going to act as Speaker.
Reporting in Washington, Brendan Scanlon, WZMQ 19 News.
Representative Jordan will be meeting with members this evening to try to gain more support before tomorrow's Speaker vote. In Lansing, solar energy experts say the UP may be a better fit for solar energy than some may think. With the state setting a goal of 60% renewables by 2030, a professor at Michigan State University says extra solar power in the UP could also help lower energy costs. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy explains.
When it comes to meeting renewable goals, engineering professors at Michigan State University say that while these large-scale wind and solar farms are one option, smaller residential panels could be another.
It's one of the states where we start installing wind pretty early compared to other states. For solar, it's less obvious for most people because people think of Michigan as being really snowy.
Dr. Enik Ansel, civil engineering professor at Michigan State University, explained that building solar panels on your property for personal generation would also help build to larger renewable goals. She says that though solar and wind don't work all the time, during severe weather outages, it could help people get their power back sooner.
When you have a big storm, usually what gets disturbed are all your transmission lines. So if you have your system on your house, it's much easier to kind of reconnect or not being disconnected.
Dr. Ansel also explained that the cold weather in the UP in some cases is better when it comes to efficiency of solar panels. In Marquette, a project at Northern Michigan University uses bifacial solar panels to help with the production in winter.
What that means is they capture sunlight on both the front side that's facing, but also the bottom side. So when we have lots of snow on the ground, there's this albedo effect, which reflects the sunlight, and we actually capture that sun too.
Dr. Jessica Thompson from NMU's College of Business says that in the UP, issues tend to pop up when installing new panels.
The problem is the age of the roof. Best thing to do is if you're replacing your roof, replace it and do solar at the same time.
Dr. Ansel says that even just 1 in 10 households installing their own solar could help reach the overall goal. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Meanwhile, a UP state representative is already announcing a re-election campaign. Jen Hill announced yesterday she will again run for the 109th State House District seat in 2024. Hill says she hopes to continue supporting workers' rights, seniors, Michigan schools, as well as expanding her support throughout the state. Hill says she wants voters in her district to know she does her homework and is going to, quote, show up and fight for the central Upper Peninsula and make sure that policies actually benefit us and are going to bring resources back to the UP. As seemingly no further progress is being made in the United Auto Workers' fight for higher wages, one Detroit Big Three executive is calling for an end to the strike. Bill Ford, the executive chairman of Ford Motor Company, made his first public comments today since negotiations began with the UAW and the Big Three automakers. Ford called on the UAW to come to the table and bring an end to talks.
This should not be Ford versus the UAW. It should be Ford and the UAW versus Toyota, Honda, Tesla, and all the Chinese companies that want to enter our home market. We can stop this now. And I call on my great UAW colleagues, some of whom I've known for decades. Many are close personal friends. We need to come together to bring an end to this acrimonious round of talks.
UAW President Shawn Fain said last Friday more strikes could be called on anywhere at any time and with only a moment's notice. Voters in Schoolcraft County have a decision to make on November 7th, and officials say it could mean the difference between life and death. Manistee Public Safety provides emergency medical services to 98% of the county, and the department is asking voters to support a 5-year millage of 2.25 mils to fund ambulance operations and improvements. If the millage doesn't pass this November or next spring, EMS services will be legally required to end in June of next year.
Don't exist, there'll be nobody to answer these calls, which means someone will lose their life. So this vote is very important. We just want an opportunity to do our job. We need that funding to do that.
Schoolcraft County residents are invited to 2 public forums on October 18th and 24th to learn more about the millage from healthcare professionals and first responders. For times and locations, just head to WZMQ19.com. The Oscar G. Johnson VA Medical Center in Iron Mountain is working to expand its Native American Veterans Services program, one of the first in the country. WZMQ's Iron Mountain Bureau reporter Amy Doyle talked with staff about how the program will better serve Native American veterans.
I spoke with the Native American Program Manager and the Suicide Prevention Coordinator. They've been collaborating closely to support tribal communities with access to care and crisis services. Since the pilot program's 2018 inception with the Office of Rural Health, the Native American Veteran Program is still aimed at outreach. The program has already conducted 26 outreach events to tribal partners this year. Now the VA hospital will soon be hiring a new role, a Native American navigator.
And that will be the hiring of a Native American veteran who will do exactly what the title says, which is navigate our Native veterans through our hospital, through our services, and make sure that they are put in touch and coordinated with any services they might need from us.
The number of veterans served per square mile makes the UP's VA hospital the most rural in the whole VA system, and transportation can pose challenges for outreach.
I think one of the biggest services we have for bridging that challenge is our VDC services, our teleservices, being able to reach veterans where they're at. And I think it's so critical, especially with our tribal communities, especially in the winter. It gets very remote.
The Native American program is preparing some hospital enhancements for Native American Heritage Month in the coming weeks.
We are going to feature a Native American dish every week for Native American Month. We're also giving a series of cultural considerations presentations for staff to help them understand the importance of culture when we're treating our Native veterans, who are our largest population culturally in our catchment area.
A Three Sisters soup is one of the recipes getting attention for next month's menu in the canteen, and even the public is welcome to dine in the hospital's cafeteria. Amy Doyle, WZMQ 19 News, Iron Mountain.
Your first warning weather forecast is coming up after this break. Plus, no snow on the ground just yet, but some dog sled teams got in a little practice this weekend. We'll show you the UP 200 Dry Land Dash. And why schools around the nation aren't just looking for more teachers, but more bilingual teachers. We're back in 2 minutes.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Sleep better with a new mattress from Kirkish Furniture. We proudly feature made in the Midwest Restonic mattresses. Try one out today and compare other major brands. Let our sleep specialists help you find the bed of your dreams at Kirkish Furniture.
There's nothing like the feeling you get being outdoors. The UP Ice Fishing and Hunting Expo has everything you need to be ready. The expo returns to the UP State Fairgrounds Ruth Butler Building. Inside, discover great sponsors with everything from bait to rods and reels. Mark it down now on your calendar, November 3rd through the 5th at the UP State Fairgrounds. The UP Ice Fishing and Hunting Expo, brought to you by the Daily Press and WZMQ 19 News.
Now more than ever, you need to know what's happening here in Washington. Decisions affecting your life by the people you set here. I'm Rachel Knapp, tracking the daily decisions by your senators and representatives. That's my job, and I report to you. Healthcare, education, the economy, taxes, jobs, all hang in the balance. Watch my reports from Capitol Hill only on WZMQ 19 News.
Welcome
Welcome to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert.
Colbert's got an all-new Late Show with Jada Pinkett Smith tonight on CBS. In a game of quick draw.
Jump rope. Jump rope is correct. 1, 2, 3,
It's fast-paced family fun for all. Pictionary. Every weekday.
Weekdays at 9 on WZMQ CBS.
Mike Baxter.
How do you kill an elk?
Wait outside the lodge until last call, then hit it with a tire iron. Pioneer.
I have a 60-year-old truck and a 30-year-old marriage. I am stuck in my old ways.
I do love that truck.
Last man standing.
WZMQ 19 News First Warning Weather with Ariane Stasek.
Few sprinkles still possible within these next couple of hours, but as we head towards our 4 a.m. and into tomorrow morning, just really expecting those clouds to be persistent. More of a westerly wind works in for our Tuesday. That's clearing out all of the cloud cover. Some nice sunshine, Ironwood, for our Tuesday afternoon. I do think it'll slowly push further and further eastward. Sault Ste. Marie, you will be the last one to shed the clouds. Heading for our Wednesday morning, decent sunshine across the eastern locations, but the west, now we see a little bit of green starting to enter the picture. So we're talking potential for some rain showers moving from west to east, and you can see them overspreading the region as we head towards our Wednesday evening. So can't rule out a shower or two for Wednesday afternoon, but the better chance comes Wednesday morning into the Wednesday overnight. You can see that surge of moisture coming down from the South Menominee, seeing some pretty steady rain around 11 p.m. for our Wednesday night. Those rain showers continue into our Thursday time frame as well. So not a whole lot of rain by the time we get towards dinner time Wednesday. You can see really just dealing with a trace, perhaps 1/10 of an inch by then, but heading into the overnight, likely we'll be seeing precip amounts on the order of 1/4 of an inch, maybe up to 1/2 inch, especially down to the south. That's not it with the rain too. Thursday 7 a.m. we could be entering a little bit of a dry slot as the low pressure system kind of shifts further eastward, but on the back side of it, that moisture does work back in by the time we get towards the second half of our Thursday. Friday looking like a drier day, kind of in between storm systems, but in comes another low pressure system. This is 10 a.m. on Saturday, and we're seeing once again more of a steady rain across the region. Likely will be persisting even as we head into our Sunday. Can't rule out a few more showers. That northerly wind on the backside of the storm system will be providing more ample opportunities for some lake effect showers. At least they will be showers of rain and not snow. So we'll keep an eye on that one heading the weekend. Precip or temperature outlook, I mean, for these next 6 to 10 days, the colder air shifts further eastward, the warmer air off to our west. So that does hint at some warming temperatures we continue for the end of the forecast period, likely as we continue into the late weekend. Early next week, you can see those temperatures ramping up just a touch. Not a whole lot of wind these next few days. Wednesdays, we finally get a decently southerly flow. Could be seeing gusts 20, 25 miles per hour, but not a whole lot of wind to contend with over these next few days. Our zone outlook for tonight, expecting once again 38 degrees, still cloudy, a few drops out there. Northwest wind about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Right to the 7-day forecast. We're at 50 today, partly cloudy, more clouds heading into Wednesday, and then I do think you could see a stray shower, given a 20% for our Wednesday afternoon, but the better chance comes Wednesday night and lingers throughout our Thursday. Temperatures these next few days right near our averages for this time of year, but a little bit cooler Friday as well as Saturday. Cloudy skies, more showers Saturday, and then warming on up actually Sunday as well as Monday. Expecting some improving conditions here. Partly cloudy skies for our Monday up towards 58. The rain shower days looking like Thursday and Saturday, so plan for an umbrella or perhaps that rain jacket those 2 days.
Thank you very much, AJ. The UP 200 Dryland Dash made its way back to Negaunee Township for the 7th year of sled dog races without the snow. WZMQ's Abby Lamb tells us what the weekend had in store.
The Dryland Dash brought in dogs and owners from all around the region. This year, race organizers stated they received over 100 entries, making the participant total almost double of what it was last year.
It was record registrations this year, so there really is like this growing community of dryland races around the Midwest, and I think we're seeing that interest grow both in participants and spectators.
The dash began on Saturday morning with the musher meeting, followed by the first racer crossing start at 9 a.m. Negaunee Township Park was filled with dogs hooked up and ready to race, truly showing their love for the sport as they anticipated what came next.
Well, if you're seeing we hook them up, they won't shut up. They'll be jumping and yelling and screaming. It's just incredible. The dogs at the line, they just know what they're doing. Once you put the harness on them, they just go nuts.
Racers started on a 2.2-mile loop, with race officials leaving a 2-minute safety gap between each team. The Dryland Dash includes 4- and 6-dog rig, 1- and 2-dog bike drawer and scooter drawer, canacross, and a junior section, totaling out to 35 classes to participate in.
I would just encourage people, if they want to try this sport and they feel like that they can't because they only have 1 or 2 pet dogs, we have an opportunity that people can try it.
The Dryland Dash rounded out activities on Sunday evening after all participants had finished and winners were posted. Receiving a $2,000 cash prize, winners were determined based on the combined time of their first and second day racing. Abby Lamb, WZMQ 19, Negaunee.
As the fall school semester continues, educators are learning about their classrooms and how to better elevate student success. Marquette Alger-Risa hosted the Fall Educators Conference today, gathering over 600 educators from around the state to discuss the ways to improve student achievement and the classroom experience. Teachers broke into 3 workshops and worked on their curriculum with others in the field, and also to brainstorm the best way to individualize each student's experience.
Depends on the kids in my class. I have different levels of students in each of my classes, so every class looks a little bit different, but really I feel like it's all about reaching the kids where they are and then teaching them the content as we go.
Teachers also had workshops focusing on the whole student and building confidence and leadership within the school. With a record number of migrants arriving in the U.S., including many young children, schools nationwide are trying to find enough bilingual teachers to fill classrooms. Michael George shows us how some cities are trying new ideas to recruit more educators.
Schools across the country are adapting to a new reality, the enrollment of tens of thousands of migrant children.
I've never had as many students as I have now.
Michelle Land is a high school teacher and president of New Jersey Bilingual Educators. She says many children of asylum seekers speak little or no English, and without bilingual teachers, it'll be tough for them to keep up with their classmates or learn English. Can bilingual education actually help kids learn English faster?
Absolutely. And as a teacher of language, I know that in order for the student to learn a new language, we need to have a strong foundation in the first language.
A 2021 Department of Education report found more than half of states have a shortage of bilingual educators, with low pay and certification issues being the main reasons. Nonprofits are now offering financial incentives in Miami, Los Angeles, and Dallas to find more bilingual teachers. And in New York, a city trying to accommodate 20,000 more students, school officials are making it easier for bilingual teachers to get tenure.
Launching that gave us access to over 500 additional teachers who are already tenured, already show proven success here in New York City schools, and who have the credentials to teach our multilingual learners.
Melissa Aviles Ramos with the New York City Department of Education says now the city has enough teachers to handle the influx of new students.
It makes a huge difference. Children feel welcomed when their language is recognized in a setting.
The hope is it will give tens of thousands of kids a foundation for a good education.
Advocates say the U.S. will need to invest much more money in education to meet the demands of the growing number of migrant students. Still ahead tonight, home safety, how a van in Pennsylvania is helping teach families about the in-home dangers kids could face. That story is next.
Our studio is in downtown Marquette, but we also have bureaus in Escanaba, Lansing, and Iron Mountain. How does that make a difference?
I think it makes a huge difference because the UP is very big. We're only 3% of the state's population, but we cover almost 40% of the landmass. So we are spread out quite a bit. And so I think to have all these different bureaus in the UP is really helpful because people live in those areas and want to know what's happening in their location.
Yeah.
But then especially now that we have our Lansing Bureau, I feel like that's something that's really been missing here in the UP is state government and what is going on down in Lansing. And we are so disconnected from Lansing so often. I think it's a major benefit that we have a reporter down there on the ground covering what's happening in our government and talking to our UP state representatives, but also just our government officials down there about how things that they are deciding on impact people who are living in the UP.
Hudson Show. I can't handle the hilariousness that is Miss Pat.
Everybody think because I'm a plus-size black woman, they just swear I can cook and they swear I can sing. Baby, ain't nothing coming up out of this chest but sweat from hot flashes.
Then this little girl can prove.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 5 on WZMQ TV CBS, followed by 19 News at 6. Award-winning WZMQ 19 News, live and local with Sarah Blakely.
Health experts are driving home the importance of safety around the house. At the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, they've deployed a mobile safety van to better educate families about the dangers that could be within reach of a child. Lindsay Ward has the details.
Checking out this mobile safety van is a little bit like looking at your home.
It's really cute. It looks like a little house on wheels.
And that's the point. With things you typically see in a house, like stairs and a sink, show how accidents can happen anywhere, at any time.
Unfortunately, injury is the leading cause of death and disability for children.
Every year, 3.5 million children end up in the emergency room for injuries that happen around the home, and 2,200 die. Suffocation, drowning, and burns are the leading causes of unintentional death in the home.
One thing that we really recommend with families is crawling around your home on your hands and knees so you can see where your child has access to.
The University of Pittsburgh Medical Center took its safety tips on the road after learning families struggled to make it to their safety center.
Our original plan was we'll do one program a month in the community, so 12 a year. We did 40 programs in the first 3 months, because the community loved it.
Chris Vitale is the center's injury prevention program manager.
We give them information that they may not have already heard. And a lot of families will tell us these are things that they didn't even know existed.
She says kids not only have fun with the van, they're also like sponges.
What makes them all safe in this picture?
Wearing seatbelts.
Yes, you are the best! And a lot of the times become the teacher in the family.
The medical center says the van often goes to churches, schools, and community events as well. In other health news, an insurance company in Michigan put a 5-day limit on opioids for some patients after common surgeries like appendectomies and hysterectomies, and research shows it did not increase their pain or harm their recovery. Experts say more data is needed, though, before a limit can be applied to surgeries like joint replacements or spine surgery, which can be far more painful. And home health services can be crucial for the elderly, but a new study in the JAMA network finds that access is hard to come by in many locations. The findings show that 1/4 of U.S. counties have low availability of home-based care clinicians who serve Medicare recipients. After a quiet night, we'll see those clouds clear out for just a little bit tomorrow. AJ is in next to let us know when. And the surprise award for a Marquette County woman dedicated to helping other women and girls achieve their leadership goals. That's our final story after this break.
All-wheel drive season is coming. Changes, weather, road conditions. What doesn't change? Toyota's commitment to giving you the freedom to explore with more all-wheel drive choices, like the adventurous RAV4, America's best-selling SUV. Now get a new RAV4 with low 3.99 APR financing or 4.99 on an electrified RAV4 hybrid, plus 2 years no-cost maintenance. Change is coming. Stay ahead with RAV4. Toyota. Let's go places.
When it gets colder, it's a good idea to layer up. But you can also surround yourself with an added layer of protection by getting your flu and COVID-19 vaccines. And you can safely get both vaccines at the same time. Talk to your healthcare provider and layer up for some added peace of mind.
There's nothing like the feeling you get being outdoors. The UP Ice Fishing and Hunting Expo has everything you need to be ready. The expo returns to the UP State Fairgrounds Ruth Butler Building. Inside, discover great sponsors with everything from bait to rods and reels. Mark it down now on your calendar, November 3rd through the 5th at the UP State Fairgrounds. The UP Ice Fishing and Hunting Expo, brought to you by the Daily Press and WZMQ 19 News.
Meet Mike Baxter, pioneer.
Dad, how do you kill an elk?
Wait outside the lodge until last call, then hit it with a tire iron.
Frontiersman.
Pheasant hunting is ridiculous. All the running and the chasing and the fetching.
That's what the dog's for.
But Maddie did such a good job. Who's a good girl?
Legend.
I have a 60-year-old truck and a 30-year-old marriage. You should be happy that I am stuck in my old ways.
I do love that truck.
No wonder he's the last man standing.
Overnight low temperatures expected to dip down to the 30s for some, 40s for other. Eagle Harbor 44, 39, and Marquette itself, Iron River 35. So could see a little bit of patchy fog across the interior locations. Patchy frost, that is our Tuesday forecast. Mostly cloudy skies, 8 a.m. Partly cloudy heading through noontime and 4 p.m. Decent sunshine, temperatures right near that 50-degree mark. Not a whole lot of wind either, only about 5 miles per hour. Seem like a few more clouds arrive by the time we head for tomorrow evening. Our high temperatures tomorrow, once again, right near that 50-degree mark. We're at 54 up there in the Houghton, Ironwood, 55. Further eastward, temperatures maybe a tad bit cooler. Newberry sitting in at 53. Manistee more the same, sitting in there at 50. Quick look at our 7-day forecast, expecting those temperatures to remain a bit constant these next couple of days, 50, 56, 53. So sitting in those middle 50s, most likely for the middle of the week. Bit cooler Friday. Rain chances look to be on the increase Thursday as well as Saturday.
Thank you very much, AJ. Finally tonight, an award ceremony celebrating women in the workplace had a few tears along with a well-deserved standing ovation today. The West End Health Foundation's Evergreen Awards ceremony presented individuals in Marquette County with an award recognizing their continued support for mentoring women and children. The foundation revealed the 2023 recipient, who was shocked to receive the honor.
Always thought, like, that's amazing, these women are amazing, but I'm like, that's not me. Like, I mean, I do what I can, but I don't do it thinking I'm ever gonna be like a recipient of this.
And that's the kind of person that should be given an award. The foundation also presented lifelong learning scholarships to support women and girls in reaching their leadership potential. Congratulations to all of the honorees today. That does it for us for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 6/5 Central.
Shop our huge selection of Amish crafted dining room sets at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Browse our large in-stock collection and customize with a special order with 1-year no-interest financing available, plus free delivery. Shop Kirkish Furniture today.
Since the 15th century, Antwerp, Belgium has been the city for diamonds. Erickson Jewelers is going overseas to this diamond capital